Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a long-term market analysis update for HBAR. We're going to talk about some weekly moving averages, some key levels of support to watch out for, the HBAR Bitcoin ratio, and my overall update and thoughts surrounding this altcoin, especially given the most recent series of events with Bitcoin capitulating and starting to form lower lows around $15,500. So if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. I am fairly active over there as well if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. So first, I do want to give an update on these two weekly moving averages. We've been talking about these throughout the HBAR videos. The red one is the 20 simple moving average, and then the green one is the 21 exponential moving average. And with these moving averages, they really have acted as resistance throughout this entire bear market. You can see that initially, HBAR lost these right here in November of 2021, flipped it right into resistance, and had several rejections throughout this bear market. We rejected right here throughout December, another rejection on this lower high in April as well as March. And then over the last few weeks, we have had more and more retests of the 20-week simple moving average, the red line. You can see that we had about 4 candles coming up to this level. Currently, the 20-week is at 6.46 cents, and we have started to roll over from here, and we're really coming back down to retest the support around 5.3 cents. Now, this is going to be very strong support, especially if we go all the way back here to 2020 as well as 2019. You can see that this initially acted as pretty strong resistance. Going back here to February of 2020, we had 2 key rejections off this level, and then we continued to reject throughout May as well as August. And eventually, when HBAR did break back above this level, it had a really huge move up. And from the breakout point, in just the following 9 weeks, HBAR actually went up around 800%. So that tells me that this is a very significant level, and the fact that we're retesting this for the second time since that May capitulation is pretty significant. So really watch to see how this weekly candle starts to close. If HBAR can continue to hold this region as support, that would be a very positive sign, especially given the most recent capitulation by Bitcoin, where Bitcoin had its move down below that previous low around $17,500. So if HBAR can reclaim this level, which currently it's below it by about a few percent or so, if HBAR reclaims this level on the weekly, look to see if we can get another retest of these 2 weekly moving averages, which, by the way, are downward sloping and have been downward sloping ever since we lost them right here on this inflection point in December of last year. So if we do have a retest, do consider that we could retest these levels at some lower valuations if we had to move up in, say, a few months or a few weeks from now. So to just extend out some of these moving averages, if we do have that retest, say towards the end of the year, we could have that obviously at some much lower levels. So I also do want to talk about the HBAR Bitcoin ratio, which, as we discussed in the last video, has been in this pretty long consolidation period, ranging from about 262 Satoshis as our support, the range lows, to the range highs, which is the resistance at 377 Satoshis. The middle of the range right here is around 314 Satoshis. And HBAR on the Bitcoin ratio has entered this range going back all the way since May. And we've really just been oscillating from the highs to the lows, fluctuating around this mid-range. And you can see what I'm talking about with the initial drop into this range, forming that resistance at the range highs, going back down to the lows as our support, bouncing off of that, and really just carrying out this move both to the upside and to the downside. And as of just a few days ago, we did get that retest of the range lows. So really watch to see if this can continue to hold as support. As of right now, this is a pretty promising bounce. We do have some follow through. So I would look to see if we can start to get back above the middle of the range, which is again at 314 Satoshis. So in terms of the longer term context, because this is just a few month long range, in terms of the longer term picture for HBAR, really I'm going to be focusing on if we do eventually get a breakout of this range. So I just want to zoom out here all the way. And what I want to look out for, especially into the end of the year and into Q1 of 2023, is a breakout for HBAR on this massive consolidation period. So that could either mean that HBAR is coming back above the range highs, the resistance at 377 Satoshis, and then flipping that into support. And a move like this would be a huge breakout in which I would suspect that we have had a reversal of this longer term decline against Bitcoin beginning back here in September 2021. And this is really the bullish narrative, the bullish argument to support HBAR, where if we do get a breakout above the range highs, that would really start to mean HBAR is going to outperform Bitcoin, really bring a lot of strength into this pair, and could potentially form some sort of pattern where HBAR is starting to break above some of these resistance levels and really give that outperformance with respect to Bitcoin. Now, again, that's the bullish narrative, and that would happen on a breakout above the range. certainly much further out, but I do want to talk about this longer term trend because we can't just consolidate in this range forever. Now, if we start to break down instead and we don't hold the support at 260 Satoshis and we start to flip that into resistance, then this is going to mean that HBAR is really going to start to underperform Bitcoin on both to the upside and to the downside, where if Bitcoin does have a move to the upside, HBAR would most likely in that scenario not move up as quickly, and then onto the downside, it would have that relative weakness where it would lose its support levels. Meanwhile, Bitcoin would start to have a little bit more strength. So if this happens, that would really not look too good for HBAR. And certainly this doesn't have to happen. I'm just throwing this out there because eventually we will get a breakout to the range and eventually we will have a continuation or a reversal. But until that happens, we're still range bound. And I want to discuss this ahead of time because we really don't know at this point which direction this is actually going to break out to. And we'll only see that signs once we do get some confirmation, such as a flip right into resistance, or on that bullish side, again, that flip right into support, where we would see that flip for buyers and demand starting to step into the zone instead of the rejections and the resistance. So those are the things I'm going to be watching out for, especially on the HBAR Bitcoin ratio, which is going to give some great insight into how this will perform, especially again with respect to Bitcoin. So if you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis, please do leave a like and subscribe. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.